All I have to say is, if Preston doesn't leave Danny, I'm gonna be so fucking mad. Like, he doesn't deserve that, and Danny got some fucking nerves. That's some bullshit. Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Brittany Summer, and I'm back with another recap of Sisters episode 20. Let's get into it. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. And to all my visitors, please, 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 please subscribe. I really appreciate it. And you guys, let's get into this recap. Okay, y'all, so the episode starts off with Danny. So, Preston been waiting for her to get off work so they could talk the whole fucking day. And she, instead of going home, she went to Sabrina's house. And they went from Sabrina's house to the situation at Jonathan's house, whatever, right? So when Danny finally got home, there's Preston sitting on the couch like, okay, hello. And she's like, oh, I thought you would be asleep. Preston says, you thought I was going to be asleep or you wanted me to be asleep? And Danny's like, oh, I thought you was asleep, whatever. So at the end of the day, Preston was like, yo, so or can we talk? Like, are we going to talk about what's going on? And she basically like dodged the whole conversation about whatever they needed to talk about. She just dodged it like, oh, I'm tired. You're being aggressive. I don't want to sleep. I just got in. Like, bitch, you said you was going to talk to him when you got home. You didn't come home. So now that you're home, we need to talk. So basically, Preston was like, you know what? Cool. We could talk in the morning. So when the morning time came, Preston wakes Danny up. 2 hours before she has to get up, right? So now Danny trying to find an excuse like why she can't talk because he woke her up out her sleep. And Preston's like, I woke you up because we need to talk. And if you go to work before we talk, then you're going to get home and not want to talk. So we need to talk now. So Danny's just like, oh, what do you want to talk about? Like, you're going to ask the questions because you woke me up. Like, just being petty as fuck. Like, it's so irritating. She's pushing him away and everybody sees why. Like, she want to be with Tony. So, okay. Preston's like, so are you sleeping with that guy at work? And Danny goes, I just met him. No, I'm not sleeping with him. Preston says, no offense, Danny, but you typically sleep with people you just met. So, and the fact that he said that, Danny used that as like he's assaulting her. He's not assaulting you, bitch. That's what you do. And that's what you've been doing. So why are you acting like, you don't do that? So she's like, okay, so now you're calling me a whore. Like try to deflect so bad. Like, and he's like, I'm not calling you a whore. Like, whore never came out of my mouth. So what are you talking about? So as Preston is trying to talk to Danny, Danny's like deflecting everything he's saying and try to put it as he's like insulting her or being rude to her, raising his voice. And Preston is trying to say like, listen, excuse me, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here. Why am I even here? Like, it seems like you don't want me. And to be honest, my experience, like watching this show, watching Danny, it does seem like she don't want you, bro. Like, she acts like you will always be there. Like, she treats you like, like you're just feeding for her. And basically what Preston said, he loves you more than Danny loves him. He loves her more than he loves her. He loves her more than she loves him. Yeah, like, you're doing a lot, Danny. You're doing a lot. So I was happy when Preston broke it off. When Preston said, like, you know what? It's clear that you don't want me here. And you say you do, but you don't act like you do. And your actions says it all. So this is the part that got me. Preston was like, the guy that was such an asshole. If he wasn't an asshole, would I even be here? And then he says, I don't know. So Preston was like, oh, okay, so that says it all. Like, I wouldn't even be here if he didn't fuck your ass up. Like, what's going on? Like, girl, like, why are you wasting my time? You know why you wasting my time? Because you know I love you. That's why you wasting my time. That's why. And you know what? Deuces, like Tiger and Chris Brown said. Going on to the next one. Peace, bitch. So after all the stuff Preston was saying to Danny, the only response Danny had was, "Oh, okay, okay. Oh, if you feel that way, you're the one being like this," and like just basically, um, having this nonchalant like reaction to everything he's saying. Like she don't care. Like everything is all good and she don't have no problem with nothing. It's all good. It's all Preston. He feels this way. If you want to leave, he can leave. But then when he leaves, you start crying. You start crying and feeling some type of way. You feel like he's gonna come back. When Sabrina came to your door, you talking about, oh, you thought that was Preston. You thought it was Preston. You told Sabrina that he left you and he stay leaving you because that's what he do. But you don't tell Sabrina how you act towards him. You don't tell Sabrina that you was being a bitch. You don't tell Sabrina that you left him at the house all day when he was supposed to, y'all was supposed to speak. You don't tell Sabrina that. You don't tell her that. And Sabrina, as a friend, like, what kind of shit is that? Tell your friend when she's fucking wrong. Like, tell her, Danny, you treat him like shit. Danny, why you treat him like that? Danny, you need to speak to him. Danny, tell him how you really feel. No, Sabrina's not doing that. Sabrina's like, oh, well, at least you have Tony. You be okay. You have a great guy. Da, 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 da. Like, you enabling her like a motherfucker. It's so annoying. Sabrina, what kind of friend are you? What kind of friend are you? You have to tell your friends when they're wrong. And at that point, Danny was upright around the corner, fucking wrong. Period. Y'all let me know if y'all feel like Danny was wrong or if Sabrina is being a true friend by basically enabling Danny every time she's wrong. Like she doesn't want to speak up and tell her like, hey, maybe you was being so and so towards Preston to make him feel that way. Let me know in the comments, y'all, because that situation with Danny and Preston was irritation. This pure irritation. So then Danny gets to work and like she's closing her car door and here goes Tony like scaring her and she's like, oh, frightened, ha 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 ha. Like Tony's giving me a like you're feeling vibe, so I'm getting like so turned off by him. So he's like, oh, like your boy's not gonna come and scare us this time, is he, or whatever, like pop up on us this time. And Danny's like, no, he's not. Like, he's not. He's like, yeah, because I don't want him to come and like want to have to kick me with his cowboy boots. It's like, boy, shut up. Like, shut up, please. So then Tony asks Danny if she's okay. She goes, yes, I'm okay. Then Tony says, yeah, I'm sorry because last night was a lot. And Gary's like a piece of shit, and Danny agrees like yes, he's a maggot, and they both start bonding off of the fact that they wanted to both whoop Gary's ass, which is understandable because he needed all the ass whoopings. Danny then asks about Penelope, like, oh, how is she? And Tony says she's really shaken up, and Jordan is with her, so she's gonna be okay. So then Tony then asks Danny like if she's the only child, cause he's the only child, and they just bonding off of that. And my thing is, don't y'all gotta go to work? Like, go to fucking work. So as soon as they was about to leave to go to work, Danny asks Tony like you're in a suit every day. Like, what do you do here? Tony says he's the vice president of Maintain Airlines. So he got coins, and I feel like, Danny's like, okay, I hit the jackpot. Tony then asks, like, how did the conversation go with Preston? And Danny says she's not going to talk about that with him. And he was like, okay, well, I just wanted to ask, whatever, but it's okay. And then they finally get their asses to work. So my thing at the end of the day, I feel like Danny wanted this to go well. I feel like Danny wants to get to know him, and she couldn't do that because she had Preston, you know, right there. So now that Preston's out the way, she feels more open and comfortable to talk to him. So yeah, let's see where that goes. And I honestly feel like at the end of the day, Danny's gonna regret what she did to Preston. And I hope Preston find him a nice ass Okay, y'all, if y'all don't notice by now, I go by characters, like what the character went throughout the episode. So right now, I'm on Zach and Fatima. So right now, Zach and Fatima gets to Zach's baby mother house, and there's like a paramedics guy like wrapping up her arm, whatever, and there's a guy standing up in the corner like smoking a cigarette. So that's clearly Heather's like boyfriend or whatever, maybe the guy that basically slit her arm. However, but soon as Zach and Fatima walked in the apartment, Heather goes, "What the hell are you guys doing here? Get the fuck out!" And Zach like yells to Michael, "Michael, are you okay?" And Heather says, "Don't effing speak to him. Like, no, y'all need to get the hell out." Fatima's like, "Okay, we're just here to check on him. Is everything okay?" And she's like, Heather says, "Oh, I just broke my arm on the glass, whatever." Right? And they all look at the baby father. I mean, they all look at Heather's boyfriend that's in the corner smoking a cigarette. The funny thing is, though, the lady next door is like right by the doorway, just peeking in, like being nosy as hell. Like I don't know if y'all peep, but she like right behind Fatima head. So that's when Heather explained, like, I just slipped my hand on the broken glass, whatever. Everything's okay, so y'all can get the hell out. And if y'all don't leave, I'm gonna call the police. At that point, Fatima's like trying to be really nice to Heather. So she's like, "Heather, can we talk, whatever?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to talk. And what you gonna do? Beat my ass?" And she's like, "Yeah." So Heather yells out to Michael, like, "Yeah, son, this lady hit your mom. She's a mean bitch, right?" So Zach is like, "Don't talk to my son like that. You're doing a lot." What she is like, "Girl, your life it could be smooth sailing, but you just dragging it, honey. Like, drag." So Fatima is telling Zach, like, "Okay, we need to go because she's getting upset and we can't do anything right now. Like, we have to go. We just have to wait till tomorrow." And Zach is like, "I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving my son here." Fatima finally convinced him, like, "Babe, just relax. We gotta go." And Zach looked at Heather and was like, "Nothing better would be with my son." So as they're about to walk away, there go the cops right on time. So I'm not gonna lie, this cop, first of all, he mad short. He got like 15 necks. He got like a double, triple neck, right? And he's like, "I heard a disturbance. Who lives here?" And Zach and Fatima straight out say, "We don't live here. We're about to leave. We just came to check on the child, Michael." And Fatima points to Heather, was like, "She lives here." So the cop goes to Heather and was like, "Okay, ma'am, are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just got cut by glass, basically." So the cop was like, "Okay, well, you two can leave, whatever." He's talking to Fatima and Zach, and they was like, "Okay, we will go." But before all of that, the lady that was the next door neighbor that's mad nosy, she was still standing by the door. So Heather was like, "I know that bitch over there called you guys. She needs to get the fuck away from my door." And the next door neighbor like put up her middle finger and left. Like, she really, really don't like her. So when Zach and Fatima left, and they went outside, the next door neighbor was outside waiting for them. And Zach was like, "You know what? Like, I'm starting to like her because the next door neighbor was like, if y'all pay me, son, I will beat her ass. Like, and y'all don't have to fight for custody anymore. Like, I'll fight her off a pack of cigarettes. Like, girl, like, your standards should be a little bit higher than that, but okay." And Zach was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna like her or whatever." So they leave. So the next morning now, Fatima gets a call from Karen, and Karen is basically being so fucking nice. It's kind of fucking scary because nobody's used to her being this nice. So Fatima's like standoffish, and Karen says to her, "Hey, I know this contractor and he have a lot of kids, and his wife like is giving me a couple things for a baby. Can you ask Zach if he will want them?" And Fatima was like, "Okay, I asked, like, thank you." And like Karen was like, "Okay, thanks. Have a good day. Bye." So off rip, if I was Fatima, I would have been like, "Okay, that was like weird. Like, she's being way, way too nice." And I feel like Karen is being nice because she knows for a fact Zach is not the father. And if she continue being a hardcore asshole bitch, they're gonna push the fact that they want to have a uh a DNA test, right? She don't want Zach and Fatima to push the DNA test. So she's like trying to be nice to get their mind off the fact that that baby might not be Zach's. But Karen don't realize she's dealing with Fatima, and Fatima is ready on that DNA test. I feel like soon as Karen have that baby, the first thing Fatima's gonna do is take a DNA test. Cause still to this day, they don't know for sure. They don't have proof. Yes, she took the DNA test and the results came, but like Fatima said, the paper looked mad off. The paper looked altered. So I know for a fact Fatima is trying to have that in the back of her mind when Karen has her baby, she's gonna have a DNA test. But I feel like that's why Karen's being nice. She don't want them to have a DNA test. But anywho's, Fatima goes to Zach, and Zach is like sitting down in the kitchen in the dining room, and he don't want to eat. He made them breakfast. It looked like it was omelet. It looks mad good. And Fatima was like, babe, you need to eat. Like, I need you buff and like nice, not skinny. You know what I mean? And Zach is like, I'm just thinking about Michael. And Fatima was like, listen, I talked to the lawyer. He's with the judge right now in the chambers. So we just have to wait. There's nothing we could do right now. So Zach was like, okay. And that's when Fatima told him what Karen said. And even Zach felt some type of way like, yo, like, why is she being so nice? Don't you think that's weird? And Fatima was like, yeah, it is kind of weird, but we're just going to let it rock for now. Like, we're going to see where this goes. So they start eating, and that was that for Zach and Fatima. So speaking of Karen gets a call from Brian, the contractor, right? And he's like, hey, good news, we are ready to work. So Karen was like, great, I'm excited, like, what's next, whatever. He was like, I guess you can come meet me at the shop and we can discuss the rest. So Karen was like, sure. And then Brian says, I told my wife that you are inspecting. So then she loaded my truck with like a lot of baby toys and baby clothes and stuff. And I was wondering if you wanted. So Fatima said yes. See, okay, Brian. I see you. And this is just a guess, but I don't think he has a wife. I think he likes Karen, and I don't know. It's like we hear you. We hear you. You have a wife. You have kids. Where they at? Where they at? No, like where they at? Like I don't think he has kids. Well, he probably has kids, or like it's not really his kids. Something's up with him because he seems very, very fucking sus. Like he seems sus, and the fact that he was telling Karen about like his wife and like can they meet up? It's like he was just looking mad like iffy. Like he want her to believe him so bad. And I don't know. It is given he just might be a creep. So I creep and just keep it on a down low. Like it's giving creep, and I'm scared for her. Like I don't know. I could be wrong. But like, do he have a wife? Okay. See, this is another thing that he said to me. For him to say it was like, sir, like you're doing a lot. So they're talking about the toys and like the kids, like they go up so fast and whatever. And Brian tells Karen like, hey, enjoy the process. And Karen says, I'll try. Then he says, I'm gonna make sure you do. Excuse me? Excuse me? Like, we don't even know each other like that. Like, what are you saying to me right now? Red flag. I said it first. Red flag. Red flag. Okay, so after the conversation ends, they say goodbye, whatever, right? And that's when Karen calls Fatima. So after that conversation was done, Karen leaves to go see Andy. So when Karen got to Andy's place, Andy was on the phone with Jonathan, right? So when Karen walked in, Andy got off the phone. Karen asks her, who's that? And she tells her who it is. She's like, oh, okay. Like, that's nice. How did you end up speaking to Gary? Andy says no, because she blocked him, so she don't even know if he did call, but she don't want to speak to him. And Karen's like, okay, do you still love him? And Andy goes, yeah, because love don't go away overnight. You should understand that. So Karen was like, yeah, I understand. So Karen comes out and say, I'm here for the check. And Andy's like, okay, of course, I forgot, whatever, but here's a check. She signed it. And they're like, okay, cool, let's get out of here. I gotta go to work. And yeah, so Karen leaves from Andy to go to her shop. She gets to the shop, and there's Brian on the phone, and he's telling the person on the phone, yeah, it's looking pretty good. I gotta call you back. So he gets off the phone, and Karen comes out the car, and he starts speaking to her about what's going on with the shop. So Brian says, hey, look at this. This is a rendering. One of my kids did it. She's like, Karen was like, kids? He was like, yeah, I coach football with the kids, whatever. And she's like, how you coach football? Like, you have so much time to do all the things and coach football. And he was like, speaking to kids, and he went in the back of the car and got the bag of toys or clothes, right? So one, he didn't answer the question, like, how you have so much time? He has so much time to do so many things. Like, I don't know, you guys. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I'm reaching. I could be reaching because I do be doing that. Like, so I understand, but like, I don't know. It's giving sus, you guys. So anywho's, Karen goes to the bag. She sees the clothes. She's like, oh, this is so cute. La la la. So then they start talking about the business. He tells her like, hey, um, this is what's how much it's gonna cost, and then he says something about her renting the place and maybe she should own a place. And there's another place that he has that he wants her to see. And maybe she could buy it with the money that she has from Andy, right? So Karen was just like, okay, I want to go see it. Maybe I should, I'll drive behind you. I'll meet you there. And the look he gave her was just like, like, you don't trust me? Karen says, like, no, that's not it. He's like, so, like, what it is? And he looks so confused, like, at the end of the day, sir, I don't know you like that, so I don't want to get in your car. But Karen says, I don't want your wife to think anything about me being in your car. And he says, no, my wife knows what's up, meaning she know I would never cheat on her. So Karen goes, okay, it's fine. Let's go. What got me was when Karen was getting in the car, Karen was like, oh, it's gonna take me a little minute. Girl, you not that big. Just get in the car. Like, she act like her stomach is wider than outside. Like, girl, get in the car. You could do it. Trust. Okay, so now it is Andy's turn. So Andy's getting ready for work. She looks really nice in her yellow skirt, black top. She looks really cute. And she gets a phone call from Jordan. And Jordan is like, I'm sorry I didn't get to call you last night. And then Andy says, it's okay. It's fine. I understand why you couldn't call. Andy asks him how is his sister. And Jordan says like she's really like sad and heartbroken. She cried herself to sleep. And I'm like, don't you think you're telling your sister business way too fucking much? Like, just say she's hurt. But Jordan did say he's glad that his sister knows the truth because I'll be happy too. Like, at least everything's out in the open and now my sister knows so she can move the fuck on. So basically, Jordan finally asks Andy if his sister can meet with her because she has some more questions. And hopefully, you have questions for her also. And Andy's like, nah, I'm good. I don't have no more questions. I don't need to know anymore. I know who the fuck he is. I'm good. But Penelope has more questions because, she don't know Gary like how Andy know Gary. So Andy said she would think about it, right? So granted, I feel like Andy would talk to her eventually. But finally, Jordan asks what he really wanted to ask. And I feel like he was waiting to ask her on lunch. So when he finally did, I was like, go ahead, dude. Like, show her that you're still interested, whatever, right? So he's like, hey, I have a meeting downtown. Maybe I could meet you for lunch. And Andy goes like, I'm going to see what I have on my schedule. And if I can, I'll let you know. So he's like, okay. And yeah, they hang up the phone. But what got me was when Jordan was like trying to like bash Gary. And Andy was like, yeah, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that with you. So next. So that's when he finally asked her out for lunch. So hopefully they end up going out for lunch because I really want Andy to be happy and find a good guy. And Jordan seems like he's the right person for her. So now is the last scene of the episode, and here is Aiden and Tamara coming out their house. Tamara is like trying to say goodbye and have a great day to her boyfriend, Aiden. And here comes Gary walking up. He goes straight to Aiden and was like, I need to talk to you. And Aiden goes like, you don't see Tamara, like you're not gonna say good morning. And he's like, hey Tamara. And he goes back to Aiden. He's like, we need to talk. Tamara says, damn, that was dry. Which he was being mad cold because he know who the fuck she is. So Aiden's like, oh, don't mind him. He's just bitter. And she's like, I see that. So she kissed Aiden and went inside. Gary gives Aiden the envelope and he opens it up. And Gary goes, oh, she's a plant. Tamara's a plant. She works for Fatima's cousin, Madam, who set you up. Fatima set you up. And Aiden's like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Aiden says, like, there's no way. There's no way. And Gary's like, you got the facts right there. Like, you're feeding Gary. Like, just because your situation has blown up in your face, why are you trying to do that to Aiden? Like, leave Aiden alone. And Dad will have me laughing is when Aiden says, I don't care what it takes. I'm going to destroy this bitch. Bro, she almost killed you. Like, she literally almost killed you. You was in the hospital, bro. Like, how about you be in love? Let bygones be bygones. And you just stay in love and act like this never happened because, bro, you're gonna make the situation worse as fuck. Like, if you see on the paper that her cousin is Madam, what the fuck you think you could do to her? Nothing, bro. Nothing. Aiden, don't make Gary put the battery in your back. Don't let him do it. He's gonna end up getting you killed. Don't do it, Aiden. Well, you guys, that was my recap of episode 20 of Sisters. It's been crazy. The season is almost over. Why? I really want to see Fatima though. I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for that new season. But anywho's, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. Thank you so much for listening. And I'll see y'all next week. Peace.